of internal confidence when it came to their function as a producer, you know, and that got me talking to people about things like impostor syndrome and the work that happens when someone is working solo. So I've done a bit of work with occupational therapists for a variety of reasons. I once described what it was to be an artist, an actor, or a solo producer. And I explained the whole thing. I was like, no, there's very rarely permanent contracts. You're often visiting a place for a short period of time. You might do a great contract and then 6 months later there's no work happening. There's not clear external indicators to your family that you're doing well, even when you are. And you know, there's definitely a thing where the work is very intense. So you disappear from your social circle for 6 months at a time, and then you come back and there's nothing to do but clean the kitchen because there isn't any work. And she said to me, and I quote, she was like, Sandy, on a professional level, I would describe that as psychologically perilous. Psychologically perilous, that's the phrase that she used, and she said, you know, to function well, she said human beings need a decent social structure that supports them in what they're doing. They need to understand that they're making progress. They need a team to check in and out with. They need enough time to do the activities of daily living and look after themselves. I'm like, yeah, okay, we don't get any of them, you know, and the money's dreadful. And you know, she was like, but I thought that was, you know, I think one of the things that was interesting was in saying this to a professional, as talking from as one professional to another, I was able to understand that that wasn't there for my personal journey. That is in fact the sector, that's this section of the journey. And I think there's something really useful in that. Working for cultural enterprise often means that I'll see up to 7 different artists a week. And nobody told me that in addition to being really interesting and you are never bored, it would give me this overview that I had never been gifted as an artist producer before, where I was like, oh, that's everybody, that's not me. And it's not just Scotland, and it's not just, this is actually part of the pattern. You know, so once you've spoken to, I don't know, 25 fine art graduates who haven't been told at college that the rate of attrition is going to be 90% by the time they are 5 years in, you are able to be helpful to people by saying, okay, here's the reality of the landscape you're in. How does that work? How are you going to make that work for you? What's best for you in that situation? And what it does is it stops people internalising and blaming themselves for things that are out with their power. I think when we work solo, it's very important to understand what is within our power and what isn't within our power, and not to take responsibility and blame for those things that are not, but only to take responsibility for those things that we can do something about and help ourselves.